The Extra Medical Curriculum, Case 1, Why Do Doctors Lie? This is parallel video 8a. 5 years ago, a young girl entered a Jordan clinic. A catastrophic event occurred. The prolonged nature of the suboptimal resuscitation attempted led to an irreversible destruction of her brain tissue that rendered her brain dead. This is a true life tale of mystery and suspense set in post-colonial Hong Kong, where dinosaurs still hold sway before a terrified populace. We have a young girl's brain which is irreversibly starved of oxygen in a private cosmetic surgery clinic. A coroner's inquest is convened to determine the cause of death. The doctor has legal representation. The inquest is adjourned indefinitely after a prosecution expert itemizes a gross and systematic failure of duty of care of the cosmetic surgeon. The case is referred to the Department of Justice. This is a story of then and now, hence the parallel videos. There have been considerable changes in the details. Now we're looking at the global standards of cosmetic surgery. We're looking at the medical profession and the role it should be playing in ensuring that the aesthetic medical specialty is conducted with safety, evidence, with dignity, with professionalism. It's gone far beyond Hong Kong now. And what was happening 2 years ago? The blog contains documentation which will be examined in detail to reveal the lack of professionalism that was driving the HA investigation into an allegation that was made. When we look at the evidence, we look at it in terms of the date, subject, the content, the context, and the connections. And this has presented us with a factual reality, an evidence-based truth, which is not very pleasant. We have looked in detail at the matters of conflict that have arisen and persist in the adversarial system on which medical legal practice is based, not only in Hong Kong but other parts of the world. System that is not in the best interests of the general public. And we have looked at the words of our legal practitioners, and this extract of a letter can be described as utter hogwash. Yes, Christopher Howes, it's utter hogwash, and it gets worse. So where are we now? We're pursuing global standards with the goal of one standard of care, but not the standard of care which is regarded as acceptable in Hong Kong. This report that occurred in the Hong Kong Standard on Friday, the 17th of January 2014, it describes the reconvened inquest on this young girl, where there was a ruling of misadventure. She had entered the clinic of an obstetrician on April the 30th, 2010. She suffered adverse effects soon after being injected with an anesthetic. A hearing was suspended for 2 years to permit a criminal investigation, but no one was prosecuted. The coroner ruled out any suggestion that Lung was illegally killed. Chan said the court could not rule that the doctor had failed to perform his duties, nor could death be described as manslaughter. Experts gave conflicting views on whether the amount of anesthetic used had exceeded the reasonable limit and whether the emergency life-saving facilities in the clinic were sufficient. It's noted that in his expert report, Bird said the clinic did not have the necessary facilities to conduct such operations, and Wong had not weighed Leung to determine the exact amount of anesthetic required. Leung's mother accused Wong of being the murderer who is going unpunished and said her daughter's death was man-made. Experts gave conflicting views on whether the emergency life-saving facilities in the clinic were sufficient. If the emergency life-saving facilities in the clinic were sufficient, Zoe would not be dead. There's a murky background to this reality. And you'll meet characters. The chameleon, Feng Hong, the hapless chairman of the department, Paul Lai, and this very strange person who writes defamatory and subversive letters and alleges that he has been criminally assaulted. This person, Dr. David Wong So-Yan, who I am quite confidently describing here as mentally unstable, a pathological liar, a dangerous doctor with delusions of grandeur, an accomplished fabulist, skilled in sophistry, all evidence-based fact and opinion, not something that somebody would say if there was any doubt as to the truth of these statements. And we have three lawyers, Christine Tang, Bernard Murphy, both of whom have my highest regard. But then there is a rogue lawyer, Chris Howes. Why he went rogue remains to be answered. That he did go rogue is incontrovertible. His advice was absolutely unprofessional. And in the background of this, lurking there, is this Medical Protection Society, a shadowy international organization that seems to be deficient in ethical practice. It's a real-time and real-life story which is set in Hong Kong and will unravel in the weeks to come.